Hey guys, it's Melissa with Web of Creativity, and this video is about making this very cute mini album. It is a 5 1/4 by 5 1/2 mini album, and I use the Graphic 45's Bloom paper collection and Square Ivory Tag album. So this album is only 5 pages, super cute, and it goes with the Summer Windmill project. And the Summer Windmill has a drawer that the mini album fits in to. So, but can be made separately. You do not need the project to make this album. The album is super fast and fun to make and decorate. But if you want to see more of the windmill, I do have the links to the videos. It's a preview video or construction video to make the box and the drawer and the windmill. Alright, moving on. So this guy, let me zoom in a little bit. So I did some fussy cutting with the flowers and the butterflies, and this is chipboard. So you can see a little bit. And then I have this dragonfly, which is a die from Technique Tuesday. It's called Build a Dragonfly. It has a ladybug in there as well. And I have a little video on how I made that little guy too. So, pretty easy. So we got the tag and then the tag die that cuts out this perfect mat for the tag. And then this photo mat right here. And then it has a tag that I tried to kind of hide, so it looks just like I matted the tag. You can't tell that there's a pocket there, which is kind of cool. And I open it up, and then I have a flap here for photos, and then I still matted the top of the tag and did some more fussy cutting, side tag. So it's pretty simple. That's all it is, you know, just a flap on the back side, place for photos on the front side, tag on the side. So real fast to put together, fun, super fun to decorate, 5 pages, fits perfectly inside the windmill project. So the kits that I have actually are kits to make the full project. But if you wanted to just buy the kit to make this guy, I don't have separate kits, but you'll have enough supplies to make several of these if you want to do it that way. And then I have tutorials on my blog as well, and all that can be found below. It's at www.webofcreativity.net. So let's get started on making this cute album. We're going to be working on the cover. The cover has 2 chipboards, front cover and back cover, and then our spine piece. And we have our paper mat covers. So front cover, back cover, and spine piece. So I'm going to start with, I've already added tape to my chipboard. I'm going to add a little bit of extra, and we're going to attach for our front cover. I like to have about 3/4 overhang on the side for covers. So I'm going to take my ATG Advanced Tape Glider and add some extra adhesive to my cover. I'll take my ruler and find my 3/4 spots. Oh, and make sure this is, where's my ruler? Not the same size. This isn't a complete square, so I'm just making sure I have the right size. Yep. And then the back is going to look identical. So I'll start back piece. Identical but mirrored image. So So we had it 3/4 on the left side, and this piece will be on the right side. And I'm making sure. Now if you're using pattern paper, make sure your pattern is on the right side, going up and down. Okay, and then our chipboard piece, I still got to add tape. I'm going to add tape to the sides, both sides of the chipboard. Then we're going to do both sides of our paper the same length of the chipboard. This is flush to the edge. That's what our pieces will look like first. And then we're going to attach using a spacer to one piece, and then we're going to attach using a spacer. The spacer goes in between the chipboards. Alright, so moving this one out of the way. Our spacer is 2 pieces of chipboard flush against the chipboard edge. I'm going to turn it so I can see the top and bottom. I'm going to remove my tape backing. Remove my tape backing. And I'm going to have it even at the top and the bottom of my chipboard cover and attach. And then remove. And this one is the same way. Turn so I can see. Put up against the chipboard spacer, even at the top and the bottom. So we're going to flip over. I'm going to fold so I can see where my middle spot is. Take my extra adhesive and just run it down the middle. So I just need to see where my middle is going to be to attach my spine piece. I can't see where it's at. Let me try that again. I need another hand. Okay, this I can do. In the middle. There we go. Alright, the next thing you need to do is put tape all around the edges, flush to the chipboard edge, skipping the gaps in between the spine and the cover. Then you take your bone folder, the tip of your bone folder, and we're going to score around the edge of the chipboard. This just makes it a little bit easier when you're folding the paper around the chipboard edge. Then we're going to get our cutting mats, our roller, and our craft knife. I'm using Fisker's craft knife. I loved my Martha Stewart one. It needs to be cleaned though. So we're going to do this at an angle, and we're going to go from the chipboard corner 1/16, which is on Tim Holtz ruler. The first dotted line is our 16th mark. We're going to line that up with the corner of the chipboard. Going to angle it and cut. And we'll have that little bit of space right there, which will tuck in when we'll fold our paper over. And do that to all 4 corners. All right, trimmed the corners. Now for ink, I'm using the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Vintage Photo, and I went ahead and inked my corners just in case. Sometimes if they get too close to the corner, you'll see the inked paper, or when you fold it over, you'll see the the non-inked side. So I just go ahead and ink those just in case. And we're going to attach the short sides first. So moving my tape. I take my bone folder, run it against the edge. It helps in folding your paper over more on a long side than a short side, but I still do it anyways for both sides. Then we're going to tuck in the corner. So tucking in, you take your bone folder or your fingernail and you just push down into that corner. So when this guy folds over, it's going to be a snug, clean corner. So you do that with all of 4 of your corners. So we're going to start in the middle. When I run it, I skip over the space. Skip over the space. We don't want to accidentally push this in too much. It might rip it. And then just kind of lightly touch on the inside. Lightly. Skip over, and fold down starting in the middle. Skip over the spine gap. Push it in. All right, that is covering. Look how nicely that's coming along. So we pushed, that didn't work on that one, but we push them in so when you fold, your pieces are going to fold inward and not bubble out. So it's looking good so far. Now we need to inside cover. we're going to work on the inside cover. So the first thing we're going to do is add tape to our spine. So we're going to add tape starting about 1/2 inch from the top, stopping 1/2 inch from the bottom, or vice versa. Either way, we don't want 1/2 inch the top and bottom without tape. So no tape at the top and bottom. We're going to add tape just flush to the edge of the spine on both sides of that gap. And that's so our paper won't bubble when we close the album. So I'm going to go ahead and add our tape. So I have the front and back covers cut, and they are identical, and I just put one piece of tape around the edge, and then I'm going to add a little ATG. So these guys are going to attach like that. Then we're going to have the middle piece, and the spine middle piece I covered in tape. So the reason for this being completely covered in tape is this is where our pages are. So we want to make sure this paper is attached to our chipboard. This is where all our pages are attached to, so we don't want this to come up. So we really want to make sure this is good and covered. So let me get my bone folder and just make sure these is good and attached. So we're going to do one side at a time, and we're going to attach our front cover, leaving a 1/8 inch. Oh, sorry, I was trying to sneeze. A 1/8 inch border. I'm going to add a little extra ATG. Oh, that's a bad idea. Let's try this. Little extra ATG. And I'm going to turn it so I can see better. And I'm going to do 1/8 border. Okay, so we're going to hold where our gap is and slowly close our album, holding the gap to make sure that the paper goes inside the gap and doesn't bubble out. And now I'm doing this so I can get my center lines, our lines on both sides, so I can attach my spine piece, because I'm going to eyeball it. And I can't really see that well. So we're going to make sure it's lined up at the top and bottom and the center. Oh, I did a good job. We got our start to our album. Album cover done. Time to work on our page. So our page consists of graphic 45 tag. This is square tag graphic 45. And three, let me get some craft so you can see these pieces better, and then 3 pieces. So we got the front pocket, back flap, and tag. So the front pocket I just have scored on both sides. So we're going to fold on the score lines, taper the corners, which means cut at an angle from the scored line. So we're going to do that with all 4 corners. Then we're going to add our tape to our tabs. All the pages are the same. This is a 6-page album. So I have them taped. I'm going to fold over the tabs and just run my bone folder over one more time. Gets it to be flat. Remove my tape backing. And I'm going to attach. So I'm turning this tag sideways so I can see it. I'm going to attach one edge flush to the left edge. And then I'm going to do it centered. I'm just eyeing the center mark. But if you wanted to get your ruler, it's about 3/8 of an inch from the bottom. So with how the pocket is cut and why I said this is flush, it's because this has a 1/8 inch gap right there. So when we cover it with our mat, let me pull out a mat here. The mat gets covered. It has a 1/8 inch border, and now you can't see the pocket piece. So it's kind of like a hidden pocket. It's really cute. This mat is a Graphic 45 die. So you have these squared metal dies to cut perfect mats for these tags. Alright, that's the front side. Then we have our tag. Now for a tag, I cut 2 of the corners, punched 2 of the corners with my 1/2 inch corner rounder. This is a Crocodile by We Are Memory Keepers. So I do it on the short edge. So there is our tag. And it'll stick out about that far. And then the back side, for the back flap, I only have 1 score line. So I'm going to fold it on the score line. I'm going to take my corner punch. I'm going to put the corner that I folded inside and punch. So I essentially punched the tab. Then I'm going to cut at an angle. So I'm going to taper. I'm going to cut at an angle up to the scored corner. So now it looks like that. I'm going to add my tape to it. Tape to my tab. Okay, so I'm not going to attach this just yet, but it gets fitted. Oh, bottom. Punch the bottom 2 corners. So it will get attached. But we're going to put up some paper on this top of this tag first. And then we're going to attach it for our flap. So that's how you make the tags. So prep all 6 tags, and then we will mat before we attach the back flap. Alright, for the matting, I typically don't show die cutting, but there is a little thing that I do, so I'm going to use, show you how I do matting my top side right here, because I don't want to waste paper. I don't want to mat the whole thing. Plus, if I mat the whole thing and then attach this guy, then you got that white tab showing. So I cut this little piece out. So how I do that is this is scrap paper. And then I get the piece that I want to cut. And lay that down. Now you can tape your die if you want to. My mats are pretty dirty. I need to clean them. So then I'm just going to run it through halfway and then run it back, because I don't need to cut out the whole thing. So that will give us our little piece. Where's my tag? So I'll attach it. So I'll attach this piece first, and then I will attach my flap. So I still have that matted. Now you can just pick your spot. It doesn't have to be this big. It can be smaller. Here's just a little piece where I cut off the sides, because you just need it to go down just a little bit, not a whole lot. And this covers it, so it's not a whole lot. And let me put this back, and then we ink this guy. Let me move this out of the way. Our other piece, I do need a full-size one, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it since I'm sitting here. So I need a full mat. And I do have my die at a little bit of an angle. I don't like to cut it straight on too many times, especially with the thin dies. And because it's thin, it probably only needs to go through one time, but I'm just going to run it through. There we go. Perfect. Alright. So for the rest of the mats, so we have our back side and our front side. So our front side guy is our full mat for the full thing, covers our pocket piece, and I have two additional mats. So they're two cutouts. One's just the cream cardstock, and then one's the pattern paper. And this is going to be our photo mat, and that'll get attached in the middle of that guy. And then this one will get attached in the middle of this guy. And then I still have a tagged mat. So this is our front side of our page. And our back side will have the top of the tag. And then we'll have the flap attached. Then I have three pieces. So these three pieces, I have, these two are the same size. This will be the front of the flap, the inside, and then the inside. And all of these get punched as well. I'm only punching the bottom of the bigger piece, so when it opens, nope, I think I'm gonna go ahead and check. I wasn't sure if they would cover, yeah, it'll be fine with that tab there. I wasn't sure if it was going to cover that tab good or not. I'm going to go ahead and cut all four corners. So this one will be on the bottom, this will be on the top, this guy will close, and we'll have a solid guy right here. I'm going to decorate this piece. I do like a little decoration in this corner or this corner. So you can put a picture here, and then your pictures on the inside. So let me go ahead and, before I assemble, I'm going to go ahead and ink all the edges, and I'm going to get all my tape and tape all my pieces. Alright, so for my tag, I got my mat for it. I just chose a different pattern paper. I'm going to punch the 2 corners on the shortest side. And I'm going to attach in the middle. And yeah. So when it's done, it'll look something like that. I'll fix it up. Alright, we're going to start with the back side. And let me get the craft paper back down here. See a little bit better. So we're going to attach this top piece, but I'm going to need to put some glue on it. Because I can't get the tape to go around this thin little circle right here. So we're going to go ahead and add some glue. So I'm smearing my glue everywhere. It is a bigger ring on the back side, or bigger circle cut out, because the front side has the bigger eyelet, the fatter side. So this side's a little bit more bare. It's okay though. We're good with that. Now I can attach my page. So this is flush with the top edge right here. So we're going to attach it. I'm going to have to turn it upside down so I can see it. Flush with the edge. And the side. So there we go. We're going to attach. I'm going to add a little bit of ATG. Remove my glue. My mat's going to go in the center. It's going to have a 1/8 inch border. This piece is the largest piece I have for this. Most of them are smaller. So if it doesn't look well, then I might have to redo this one. We'll find out in just a second. Let's see. Oh no, you can't tell. It's fine. Okay, adding some ATG and attaching centered. There we go. Looks good, and this is plenty of space to add a little sentiment. Cut out some flowers. I cut out butterflies too. I went through the collection and just cut out, you know, several pieces to add some little extra stuff in here. So I'll finish that part up later. So that is the back side, how the back is matted. And the front side, let me grab these pieces. We'll go ahead and attach my tag first since it's easy. There we go. Alright, this mat for the front page also gets, where did I put my glue? Glue on the top part. I think I put too much glue on here. I'm just wiping my glue around it. Added some ATG. And centered. And then we got our 2 mats. Let's see, do I want it low, or I think I'm just going to do it centered. There we go. And put my tag. All right, so then we have our back side and our front side. My pages are pretty much color corresponding. So the back and the front go together. And the only thing different is the front side of the very first page and the back side of the very last page. But when you open them up, they're all color coordinated. So that's how I did it. You can mat them any way you want. And now we need to work on the getting these pages attached into the album. Okay, so we're going to work on the binding. The binding is going to be the accordion binding. So I have scored many score lines on this paper. I think you can see it just like that. And I'm doing the hinge because it's 5 pages. It's easier with the hinge, I think. So the hinge, we're going to add our tape. Has 2 1/2-inch sections and then the little gap between the pages and then the 1/2-inch sections. The 1/2-inch sections are our attachments for our page. So we're going to add 1 piece of tape between for one of the 2 1/2-inch sections. So when you get the tutorial and it tells you where to score at, you'll understand and see better where the 1/2-inch sections are. So once I got those taped up for our 5 pages, I'm going to go ahead and fold. So where the tape is and folding, that's where I'm attaching the paper at. So the first fold is for the attach, and then the second 2 is going the opposite direction, and that is for our space between our pages. So this 1/2-inch section is going to get attached. Then we have our page section. So we're not quite doing an accordion fold type of deal. So let me get a couple more folded so you can see a little bit better on how this is getting folded. So we have our 2 1/2-inch sections that will be attached together, our midsection for our gap, then 2 more 1/2 sections which will be attached together, then our gap, 1/2 sections, gap, 1/2 sections, gap. You can see 2 half sections, gap, half sections, gap, half sections. And then we're going to attach all the half sections together. Alright, now that we have them all attached, I'm going to taper from the corner out. I'm going to taper all of these 1/2 inch tabs. Alright, and then we're gonna tape them. Alright, next we're going to add our tape right up to the edge, flush to the edge, the top edge. We're going to do it on both sides of the tab. And we do it flush to the edge because when we attach our pages, we're not going to go, the pages aren't going to be flush to the bottom. So we're going to add our tape. Oop, I keep forgetting I zoomed in. So we'll add our tape flush to the edge, and then we have this little space right here. So you're going to do that on each tab. Alright, now that I have all of my tabs taped, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to add tape to the back side. I'm covering the whole back side with tape. So the tape I put on the tabs is the 3/8 inch tape. The tape I'm putting on the back is the 1/2 inch tape. Alright. And it overlaps just a smidge, which is fine. So now I got it all taped up and I can attach it to the album. Alright, we are ready to attach the binding piece to our album. Now this binding piece is not going to be in the center, it's going to be a little lower because our pages are a little higher because of that. So our binding is lower, we're going to want it to be a little bit lower. So I'm going to use my ruler and find my placement. I'm going to go ahead and take off my tape. I'm using my ruler, but of course all the measurements for attaching is on the tutorial. Let me put that upside down for a minute so I can find my spot. Using the pink paper as my guide. Hold on one second, make sure that I am even at the bottom. I love my Tim Holtz ruler because it has that center point right in there. I'm going to line this up on the bottom with my ruler and lay it down. Alright, that's a light lay down. I'm making sure that it's even on the sides. When I close up, it's even. And then I'm going to take my tag and lightly slide that on to just check my placement. It looks perfect. Go ahead and, where's my, here we go. Use my bone folder to get that attached good. There we go. Alright. Now these guys are a little bit stiff. One of the reasons I don't use the accordion binding as much because they are a little bit stiff. So I'm just moving them back and forth. Get them to loosen up just a bit. And then we'll go ahead and attach our pages. Now that we're going to attach our pages, I always like to slide my first page on, or all my pages on, to make sure that I've trimmed the sides good enough so my piece fits. And I'm having trouble getting that on. There we go. So it looks good, and we're not going to attach it all the way to the bottom. We are going to have a little bit of a gap, and that gap is so we can freely move this back and forth. Gap looks good. I'm going to go ahead and remove my tape backing. I don't have a whole lot of leeway with this, so I'm hoping it doesn't catch before I attach. Slide that on. Looks good. Let's see if you can't see the gap too much on the back side, but that's the front side. See that little bit space? Looks good. All right, page 2. Oh yeah, let's see what the tag looks like in there. Oh yeah, that's cute. Checking the place. Yeah. Oh, so cute. This is so cute. All right, taking that tag out. Again, slide it on first. It's getting caught on the tape. Okay, there we go. It's a good fit. I guess it is kind of hard to see. Stick my finger in there. Get it to open up. That side looks good. That side looks good. Pages look even. Alright, so we got our 2 pages in. Go ahead and get the rest in, and then we can decorate this baby. It's decorating time. So I'm not going to go over all the pages, but I'm going to go over the cover. And I will say that I start with just cutting out all the little pieces and then putting my chipboard and my stickers in front of me so I know what I have. And then I fussy cut, taking all my scraps and stuff, and then I fussy cut the pieces out, and some flowers, butterflies, things like that, and then the strips, and ink everything. So that's, I'm going to work with that. These pieces right here are for my cover. So this is the chipboard that comes in the collection, and then I just cut out a backing for it, and then stub punched the corners of this guy. So I forgot, let me go ahead and attach this piece. Attach my piece right here. And am I on camera? Not on camera. Just centered. Alright. The dragonfly, I made a couple of these for my windmill. I have a separate video on how I made this little guy. It's a die, and I'm pop dotting my flowers and my butterflies. So with this, I do have a strip that I'm going to start with. And I'm going to put this guy. So I'm just checking my placement. I'm pretty much eyeballing where I'm placing things. And I'm removing my tape backing. I'm going to go ahead and attach. Attach this guy. Now, when you're planning your pieces to get attached to the inside of the album, I have to concentrate. Let me put this on first. You don't have a whole lot of space for chipboard because you still want to put enough room for pictures. So when you do have, we do have a lot of chipboard elements in the they came with the collection. Try not to put chipboard on every page is what I wouldn't do. Maybe just a couple, and maybe, you know, a couple front and back covers. If you put it on the front and back covers, I wouldn't put it on the pages, and vice versa. So if you put it on the pages, don't put it on the covers. You don't want 2 pieces of chipboard. So the same thing with pages like this. You don't want a chipboard piece here and here. You don't want it to get overly thick because it still needs room for your pictures. So that's just a little advice that I have. Just getting an idea of where I want to put my butterflies. Again, I'm pop dotting these 2. These are so cute. Just to give them a little bit of dimension off the page. Then I have my dragonfly here, and I'm going to go ahead and glue him. So he looks cute. So now I just need to know if I want to angle him that way, or no, I can't do that. I'll cover the garden. Alright, let me go ahead and add some, I'm going to add some glue to this guy. Ah, my glue's stuck. Okay, it's coming out. It's coming out. Okay, I want him right here. Alright, that looks good. He looks cute. And there's my front cover. So I might put some stuff on the outside cover right here. Let me see, because I don't want to always check. I want to make sure that it's going to still fit if I put a chipboard piece on the cover. But oh, my butterfly, my dragonfly's wings. Let me see if I can move him just a little bit down. So probably don't want to put a piece of chipboard there. I want to make sure he's still there. So I'm going to put it up, probably like a sticker or something. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and decorate the rest of my album. Alright, we are done making the project. So I decorated. So I have 2 strips of paper here and then placed a sticker that's chipboard and then cut a border piece and did a stub punch on the side. There's another dragonfly. Fussy cutted these guys and then pop dotted them. And then on the inside we got stickers, flowers, butterflies, and then I just cut out a bunch of flowers and butterflies. So this is chipboard, flower, chipboard, but I didn't put anything on the inside here. I left it all blank. Flower from the collection. So I just cut out some pieces just to add a little extra to. Here's a sticker and then a little piece, couple of pieces for a border, and then put a sticker on top. Alright, that's how I decorated the album. Thank you for watching. All the links are below for other videos. Check out my Facebook page. That link is below as well. My YouTube channel, my website. And that's it. Thank you for watching.